Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein and the Road to 100, Part 2, Phase 2 of the Successor of the Ribcage here, as this is the boss analysis set for her. And what is interesting for Phase 2 here is that things change kind of drastically from where Phase 1 was. So kind of bear with me here because there's a lot going on. So basic attacks for, let's just kind of run through some of the numbers here. Basic attacks for Slash, they have a 5% damage increase. So everything here you'll see multiplied by 1.05 for Slash anywhere on her body. For Pierce, the damage is 1.15, so you get a 15% increase to your damage. And for Crush damage, you get a 15% increase as well to your damage. 1.15 is your multiplier. So 1278 for the Sharur here, for example. 1278 times 0.9 for the first strike. And then times 1.15 would be your damage, and 1278 times 0.9 times 1.15, so 1323 or so is what we should be seeing, or somewhere around there for the Sharur. For the Tyrant's Labrys, we should be seeing around, let's see, about 1550 or so at a 5%, and for 15% from this guy, we should be seeing around about let's see, 150 more, so probably about 1800 or so, somewhere around there. Keep those numbers in mind. We'll run in here for a couple of test hits just to kind of see where they land and such, and it's good to just have the resistances up here just so we don't get one shot all the time. Good to dodge that. So if we hit her in the front, so 1552 there was the number, and we were expecting around 1550, so yeah, right at the 5% mark there. And if we switch to the hammer, oh, now I don't want to spoil that number, so keep that 2226 in mind though. Okay, let's move through here. Now, when she has the shield up, the icicles came back and elemental wall ended. So the way to remove her shield is either hit her a lot with a lot of physical hits, or use a drain attack and it will remove it instantaneously. So a quick drain is the fastest kind of way to get a drain attack out in order to remove that giant shield from her, as it is a 100% block of physical and elemental damage, so you're not able to get any attacks in on her while she's doing that. So let's check our pierce damage here. Okay, and remember we were expecting around 1800 or 1712. Okay, and remember this thing was hitting for 2226 at a certain point there. We'll go over that here in a second. But the damage numbers, so 1489 times 1.15 is 1712. Okay, so I was guesstimating off a little bit. So yeah, it is indeed that 15% increase to pierce damage. And then if we check crush damage, we can check the Argent Wolfblade here, and we can check the 15% increase to crush damage. So 930 times 0.9 times 1.15, so we should see around 963 or so. If we round up, sometimes I'm not really sure how this game rounds. It just kind of rounds up or down sometimes, and it's not a above half kind of a rounding. So 963, there we go. Now remember last time we had a special area that we could hit her up under the armpit. That's not actually true this time. That unique characteristic goes away, and she trades it for a different unique characteristic. But but her elemental resistances on blood, she has a 20% resist. So we were seeing 963 before. Excuse me. And now if we go in with blood, we will see a value here of 963. So a 20% reduction, or a 20% resist to blood. So your damage, whatever that value is, 963 times 1 plus the elemental buff, which is 20% increase, so plus 0.2, and then subtract off all the resistances. So 1 plus 0.2 minus something gives you the same damage value. Well, in order to accommodate that, that variable has to be 20% or 0.2 in order to see that discrepancy there. So she has a 20% resist to blood, and for fire, whoops, hang on, whoop, there we go. And so we'll set this one up, but it's a very, 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 very large reduction here in our damage. So 963 before, so 674, and it's a 50% a 50% reduction or resistance, 50% resistance to fire. So massive fire resistance in phase 2. In phase 1 she had a 0% resist to fire, and in phase 2 it goes up to a 50% resist, so massive resistance there, increase for sure. And blood ice fire were really good in phase 1. Here in phase 2 it's not the case. So you already have 20% resist on blood, a 50% resist on fire, and on ice. We'll go ahead and head on in here. Oh boy. Okay, I didn't dodge correctly there. Oops. So that's our second opener. And typically she does the laser beam tracking, but if she's feeling frisky, she does the giant laser beam across your face. So we'll head in here and see the ice resist and then lightning resist. And I guess while we do this, we can talk about her elements or her statuses. The statuses don't change, so you can do those from level 1 there. There you go, you can dodge it. And I did. Oh, and then she's gonna do this. Okay. So 963, so ice has a 20% resist as well. So blood and ice are 20% resist. Fire is a 50% resist, and then the coup de grace here will go with lightning at the end. Now I'm glad I actually got the dodge through the laser beam there, because that is kind of a pretty tight timing on that laser beam. And if you do get it, it's a really good get out of jail free card, because you might not be able to dodge like that all the time. Okay, so here's this one. But yeah, and on lightning she has a 50% resist as well, which is a 10% increase from phase 1. So whatever you were doing in phase 1 with blood, ice, and fire, that all has to kind of go in phase 2 here, as she gains all that resistance to all the elements, but she gains huge negative weaknesses to actual physical damage. So that's why in phase 2 it's smart to get rid of all of your elements altogether and go for more of the physical weapon damages, such as adrenaline, bridge to glory, and offensive order. These would be really nice buffs to have, rather than going for the elements. And then, as I said, she takes slow and poison element statuses, and she's immune to stun and inhibit. Now, for her HP, she has 99,800 HP here at the top level of difficulty, and that means that you have to damage cap in order to one-shot her. Otherwise, you can't kill her in one hit. So you have to do some kind of damage cap attack here. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Now, she does have a very, 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 very unique, interesting weakness. So this weakness is during her flame transition, she gains extreme weaknesses. She gains a minus 15% weakness to slash, but she gains a 50% weakness to pierce and crush. So remember we were doing our 963 before with this sword, so 930 times 0.9 times 1.5. So we should be doing about 1256 or so during her flame transition. So let's see if we can get that number up on screen here for you. So it's only during her transition. So there's the 963, and if we head back here, and she transitions, and there's the 1252. So it's like a 49% weakness increase. So that is the timing window that you would want to go for your Merciless Reaper piercing kind of attack. If you stack on Merciless Reaper here, so 1252 was what our damage number was. So since she has that 50% weakness during that phase transition from her flame set, we should expect a much higher number here. Okay, and dodge. Good. And let's see if she's gonna transition. Are you gonna transition? Good. And right there, 1742. Okay. 1742 over this. So it's about a 40%, 40% increase to your damage here during that transition altogether. So that's very nice. Is the fact that it goes from a 50%, well, it would go from a 50% weakness to a 208% weakness, or 49% weakness to a 208% weakness. So it multiplies it by a sort of a factor of 4, but it's a little bit weird with all the numbers and how they round and everything. But it takes your regular attack and it boosts it to basically doubling on her, which is really great. So if you have something like Steadfast Strike and you pair this with a Crush weapon and you wait for that phase transition, you will do double damage automatically without anything else, just Merciless Reaper and Steadfast Strike. So if we take a look at that here, let's get a Crush weapon. Sure, we'll pick this guy up. Okay, and so 1278 times 0.9 times this factor here times 5. So we should do about 12,000 damage just with these two. If we wait for her phase transition here. Okay. So it's basically a 10 times multiplier because of the weapon and the gift and her damage weakness here. Okay, so let's go. So a little bit more than 12,000, and again, it's just the how the numbers round and such. And if we get rid of the 90% strike there, yeah, so you don't have to worry about your first strike 90%. So 13,300 is the number you calculate with all the decimals and everything, and we got over 13. We got like 13,269 or something like that. So just with 2 gifts here, and nothing really too exciting here, we're already let's see, about 14% of her health gone in one strike there. So if you pair this up with a whole bunch of things and you wait for that, oh boy, well, rip Haze, the button did not register there. Oh well. But if you wait for that phase transition, you can absolutely demolish her if your gift hits during that phase transition. Okay, so we need to one-shot her here. So if we go for not Jack, Yeah, all this is good. Let's see. So, sure, we'll go with a crush sword here, and the Wrathful Balmung is a very, very, very good candidate for this. Okay, and we'll go for this. Good, and let's see. We need more damage here, so it would be great if we could go for offensive order, but we can't. So I guess we'll go for somatic zeal, and this should be pretty good here. Okay, we'll go for this, and this, and this, and go for stamina recovery. So this should be pretty close to a one-shot here. I don't know, I haven't tested this, but this should be really, really, really close to getting us up to that one-shot level. And since we don't have to worry about our haze anymore, unfortunately, we can check this. And again, because we get that doubling of our damage, and if you pair up with Jack, it's basically a 4 times multiplier for your damage. But since we have a doubling of our damage, let's see what our damage value would rise up to, and then we would multiply it by 10 basically, because of Merciless Reaper and Steadfast Strike. So you can kind of see here what we would get up to. Okay, there we go. Good, and one more. Okay, and right now our damage is at 10,000, so multiplied by 10, so that will be over 100,000. So you don't even need Jack or anyone. You just need to get the timing correct, and you should be able to one-shot her solo. Okay, so let's see here if we can actually get it. Okay, and that is kind of the really nice thing about knowing what you're trying to go for here and everything. Whoops, I don't know why I'm healing, but that's okay. Good, and there we go. And yeah, I don't really need to do that anymore. Okay, and Steadfast Strike, and let's go. I guess I don't really need these other things here, but that's okay. And I guess this, and let's go. Oh no. There we go. Okay. Can you transition, please? There we go. And go. There we go. So there you go. A solo one-shot on her using math in your brains, and you should get through her no problem, easy peasy. So just wait for that transition, and you should be a-okay to do crush and pierce only during that transition point. And so when if you have something that you can do big damage during that transition, you're able to completely annihilate her very, very quickly. And you can be solo, you can be with a friend or somebody else. And just remember to have that Merciless Reaper active during that transition, and then you will do more than a doubling of your damage. Now, why this is so interesting is just the fact that because you have to damage cap, and in order to kill her, because you need to get basically 5 9s across the board, in order at minimum in order to take her out in one hit. It definitely is of interest that that weakness during the transition actually leads to a very high risk, high reward type of a time, because if you get hit by that flame attack, that burst, then it will kill you. But if you hit her first, then it kills her. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed kind of the crazy here with the Wolfie lady, the successor of the ribcage. And remember, just as a quick recap here, Slash on phase 2 here has a 5% increased damage. Crush and Pierce have a 15% increase damage. Blood, Ice are up 20% resist. Fire and Lightning are a 50% resist. And during transition, during the Flame transition, she has a 15% weakness to Slash but she has a 50% weakness to crush and pierce. She has 99,800 health, and she's immune to stun and inhibit, and she can take slow and poison damage, or at least build up to be slowed and poisoned. So anyways, I hope that was worth 10 million haze or whatever, and I hope to see you all again. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.